Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 36, I think we're at, of Podcast for Dads. My name's Jay, aka HinduDad, and joining me today is our brother Thomas. Thomas, how are you?
Hello, sir. How are you doing? Long time no see.
I know, mate. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been a while. I've been still lurking behind, seeing the videos that are coming up and everything like that. I know you guys had a little bit of break because you've been mad busy, but I've still been in the background looking and seeing what you've been doing. So it's good to be back.
Yeah, man. It's been so busy that the last couple of shows we've had to pre-record and schedule our broadcast just because of the fact that, like, even tonight, right now, you guys are watching this. This is a pre-recorded show, and that's why Tom's sitting there in daylight. But while you're watching this, I'll be on a job near Heathrow Airport filming somebody's wedding reception. So, you know, it's extremely busy. Wedding season is coming to an end, thank God. Hopefully I'll have a month where I can spend some time with my family and with my child. But I got to say, like, I'm extremely blessed to be able to do what I do, man. Like, every couple that we've met has left us with an impression. We've shared an experience and created memories that will last them a lifetime, and hopefully, will bring us memories and joy and experiences that we've created as a team while we've been out on job. Do you know what I mean?
It's the end product as well, though. Like the end product, obviously you creating memories for other people, but you're also taking in them memories. But that's something that will last forever with them. Do you know what I mean? If it was not such a great product, I don't think people would come back and come back and come back to you guys. But because it is such a great end product, and they do get to see that they're showing their children, then their children can show their
That's it.
grandchildren, and so on and so forth. That's something that they hold dearly. That moment, that day, or whatever, how many days it takes over. Do you know what I mean? It's amazing thing. So you're doing a great job, and obviously you guys work really hard at it. So,
Well, mate, like,
you maybe do deserve that rest.
Yeah, 100% deserve that rest, man. Like, this week has been crazy. Like, Monday we were filming like a pre-wedding party. Tuesday was an office day. Wednesday we were out filming the actual wedding for that bride and groom. Today we're filming the reception. Tomorrow we've got a corporate gig in central London, which is funded by Camden Arts Council.
Nice.
So Friday, Saturday are going to be like 12-hour shoot days. And honest to God, I'm looking forward to Sunday. And hopefully there's no plan for Sunday.
It's not just that though. It's not just you guys being there and filming it. It's the edit as well afterwards. It's not just something you shoot and just, here you go, there, have it that. And then you have to finish in the product, isn't it?
Like, I'm kind of glad you mentioned that, because it's not just the edit. Like, there's so much preparation that you do before you even get to edit a wedding, right? Now you got to think, and I know this is off topic, but stay with us. We go to a shoot, yeah. So yesterday's shoot was a Sikh wedding, so we had 5 cameras on the run, yeah. This morning I've spent the best part of the morning backing all that footage up. So I've this morning backed up the best part of 500 gig of footage. That has to be categorized so that my editors can find where they are with the way that we've built our system for backing up files, because we remote work, right? All of our editors are home-based workers. So we have to upload to a cloud, they get access, and then they can start editing. Before they can even start editing, they've got to sync that 500 gig. And if it's a 4-day event or a 4-day like project like this one, mate, you're probably looking at the best part of a terabyte, just over terabyte, that they've got to download and sync to their machine. Then they've got to open up the Premiere project, and then they've got to sync. Most of the time we do multicam, so we've got to sync up all the multicam footage and timeline that. Then we've got to find all like the B-roll and the nice, slow motion stuff, timeline that. Then they can start editing that process. So even before they've edited a wedding video, they've already spent like 4 to 5 hours just preparing the project.
Wow.
And those are the things that people don't really take into account. Like, when we do corporate gigs, we could spend 8 hours looking just for the right music to set the tone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
And these are hours and like unaccounted factors in video production, which
yeah,
okay, some people are aware of, but the majority of people, especially in the wedding industry, your clients don't really think about that. All they do is see you there on the wedding day and then know they're waiting possibly 6 months for an edit. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean?
For a final product, yeah.
Yeah, but they don't
But it's like with
understand.
movies. The movies take years and years and years to do. It's not like they just film, shoot it and then go from there. It takes years to do. It's not something that you just instantly. It's going to think, oh, there's going to be an edited product at the end of this. No, there's a lot that goes. There's probably more goes into the edit and the choice of music and everything that goes with the production than there is filming it.
Yeah, I mean both skill sets. Like when you go and film a wedding, like say for example the portrait section where you just take the couple, you go and get those nice images they can put on the mantelpiece, but also that's your opportunity in video to get some of those slow mo, the niceties, the bit more intimates and personals with the couple that they can't do in front of everyone else.
Yeah,
But you've got to plan and project what you're going to capture there, how you're going to capture, what you want to see, what your vision is entailing in the video. And the good thing and lucky for us is a lot of the projects that we work, one of the people that we contract to come and shoot is also one of our editors for
right.
weddings specifically, which means that not only because he edits it, he knows what he's looking for, he's got a vision in his mind of how he's going to put this timeline together, but the fact is it enables us to be me in a sense to be more directive and creative in the sense that we can try different things while he's working the camera and I can direct the scene and the shoot,
Yeah,
or the opposite way around where they're limited on time and we've got 10-15 minutes with them and they've got to go back to the next part of their day. So in that 10-15 minutes, we've got to get all of the photography side of the team. We've got to get all their portrait shots, and in video, it's always plays kind of second fiddle to this. But essentially, you've got to make your shit happen. In excuse my language, but you've got to make it happen in like 5 minutes. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? And so there's a lot of different battles that we face, and mate, honestly,
It's not just physically sort of standing around with the camera and just that's it. It's also very mentally straining because you are sort of thinking on the fly and this is
yeah.
I like this image. It's like I think look in my head. There's not
And
probably
you think
99% of the time you guys don't get an image of where you're actually going to be before you get there.
nah,
So
and
you've
like
got to.
the other side of it is the amount of equipment that we have to bring on a shoot. The prep time for us is ridiculous. Like we use Z cams now to power our Z cams, and I'm aware you probably don't know what I'm talking about here, Tom, but we use something
No, I
called
like to learn though, so
yeah.
you can go. Yeah, I like
So
to learn. I like to learn.
in fact, I've got one here. I'll show you. So we use these batteries. They're called Sony MPF batteries. This is a 970, but basically this will generally run a Z cam for about 4 to 5 hours. So this one will power the camera. I've got 18 of these. Yeah. We've got 3 chargers that do 2 at a time. And most of the chargers that we use will charge 2 batteries at a time. I've got a dedicated toolbox that I've adapted and made into what we call a charge box. So that can be with us at home or on site. And then that way we've got the ultimate way to charge all of our gear.
No
But
way.
I've got to charge 18 of these. And if we're doing a shoot where we've got like lighting that we're taking and we might have to power the lighting using these batteries. So we've got 2 Z cams, which means each Z cam takes 2 batteries. And if you're on an 8-hour shoot, you need to know that each Z cam would chew through 4 batteries. So that's eight
Yeah,
batteries gone. And if I've got 2 lights that are running for an evening, I'm going to need another 2 batteries for each of those, just so one to make sure it's running and then a second one as the backup. We're already at 12 batteries. And that's just to power 2 lights and 2 cameras. Do you know what I mean?
wow, it's mad.
Um, then you've got all the audio equipment and you need to make sure they're powered up. All the cards have like been backed up and refreshed and cross-referenced to know that you've backed it up before your editor rings you and he's like, listen, mate, there's a card missing. Where's it gone? And you've already recorded over that because of the fact that you've been shooting so much.
Yeah,
You're never going to retrieve that. Do you know what I mean? So I've got a system in place where I can hold account the team member who shot, what camera they used and what card was in that camera, so I can trace back accountability to each step in the line.
Get you.
Do you know what I
That's
mean?
mad.
Yeah, it is mad. It's crazy. And then to go a step further than that, to ensure that I'm not losing footage, when I back up the data, not only do I select the camera, card, who supplied it, but I'll also write how much data they've supplied me on that card, so that in the future, if we're ever like, well, there's footage missing, we can refer back to the tracker to be like, okay, there should be this much data in that project file. Where's it all gone?
That's crazy.
Do you know what I mean? So like
Mad
pre-production,
prep.
yeah, that's all before I've gone to the shoot. So you've got to think, if I'm shooting this week back to back to back, long days, man, really long
Oh,
days.
mad. And then you got to fit family in between all this. You
Oh,
got to fit
yeah.
eating, you got to fit sleeping, you got to fit all the rest of it in.
Every single day, if I'm around to drop Jaden off, it's my responsibility to drop him off. And if I'm around and it's collection time, I'll go and collect him. And mate, so let's get back to subject anyway. This is we are doing podcasts for dads, not cameras in action. Although that
yes, but it's dad's work, isn't it? Though it's dad's work. Let's be realistic. It's dad's work, so
that's actually a good title for a podcast, though, isn't it? Cameras in action. Anyone interested? We can do that next. No, look, man. It's been quite some time since we've caught up. Obviously, there's half term this week. I'm pretty sure and confident that there's been events in the last. Let's just round it down. The last time you were on show was about 6 months ago.
Oh yeah.
So talk to me. What's been happening? I know there's a couple of highlights that you've got to share with us of late.
Yeah, the probably did lose her first two. Cost me a £5 note. I hope she's not listening.
She's literally in the other room on the door, like.
Well, she literally was just in the room a second ago. She did sneak in, so she possibly could. But no, it's fine. Yeah, she lost it too. No, it's right.
It's a question.
This year, gone.
Did she know about the tooth fairy prior to losing this first two?
Yeah, I believe so, yes. Okay, and the reason I'm saying that is because I believe that she's read books and stuff. So I reckon, I do believe that.
That was my next question, is where she would have heard about it from. So.
Yeah, probably books and stuff like that. And I think because going to the dentist, trying to explain to a 5-year-old about she has been to the dentist before. Mm-hmm. Absolutely hated it. Didn't get on at all with the dentist, as you can imagine. Why is there somebody with a mask looking in my mouth, and what's going on? You know, children, it's the unknown, so she doesn't know. But we were speaking before she lost the tooth, 2 weeks before she lost the tooth. We talked about going back to the dentist because I'd just been in the dentist. I spoke to the dentist. The dentist says, well, we need to do checkups because it's not the fact that we're looking at the teeth, because we know they're going to fall out, but it's getting children used to going to the dentist and being under that light. So it's getting them into a routine rather than, you know, all of a sudden they go to a dentist. They've never been there before. It's the unknown. Well, they've been going all their life, so they now understand what a dentist is, what they do, and it's the understanding of it. And then my mum was like, she's got wobbly teeth. And she thought, my mum was, honestly, I'm like, this is the funniest thing, right? So I went to pick her up one day when she'd been at my mum's. My mum's like, she's got wobbly teeth. And I says, okay, but it's the bottom two that are wobbly. And my mum was like, the top teeth are wobbly. So my mum starts rocking this tooth like this, right? And Poppy's head's going like this. I goes, Mum, of course it's wibbling. Look at her head. Her head can't sit still. of course her tooth's wobbly. She's moving her head like this. She couldn't tell. But then her bottom tooth started wobbling, and they were due to come out. And I'll tell this story.
Go.
I have a very boisterous 5-year-old girl, and loves to fight, loves to play fight, loves to get tickled, loves to do all sorts of stuff like that. She'll be like, Dad, I just want to tackle you, and we'll just have a little bit of a rumble and tumble. That's yeah. I've got a very boisterous 5-year-old. So we noticed she's got the two bottom teeth were wobbly, and she jumped on me, and we started messing about, just rumbling and tumbling, you know, pretending to play fight and whatnot. And she, not threw her, but I pulled her to one side, and she knocked her face on the sofa, and the tooth went, "See you later."
Nah,
Swear to you, swear to you. She
was
literally,
she upset?
no crying, no nothing.
Did she laugh it off? I bet she did.
And as soon as the blood started coming out of her mouth because the tooth had fallen out, it is yeah, knock the tooth out. Right, we got to get the tooth fairy. Put some tissue in her mouth. She bit down on the tissue. It started bleeding, and it was just excitement for the tooth fairy.
Mate.
So it was honestly, I was like, the tooth is coming out. And because she was boisterous, I thought she's going to come out anyway. She's going to be fighting with me, or she's going to be fighting at rugby or whatever. Just because
Yeah.
she plays rugby.
And the thing is,
And yeah,
like, kids these days, they like a wobbly tooth and things like that. Like, I remember back in the day, like, you'd be like, "Oh no, my tooth's wobbling. I don't want to lose it." Or then, like, your uncle would come along and be like, "Listen, tie it to a door and then shut the door. We'll pull it back." Let's go. And you'd be like, "No, mate."
yeah. I
Saying
was
that,
speaking to somebody the other day that told me that she still pulls her kids' teeth out when they're wobbly.
really, mate.
Yeah,
I went to the dentist last week or the week before. And basically, I had a fill-in that got done 6, 7 years ago, and basically they told me when they did it that if this filling ever comes out, they're gonna have to pull the tooth out because there's literally almost nothing left but like underneath the filling.
yeah.
And so I was eating a toffee crisp, and the toffee literally pulled the filling out last month. I know, can you believe it? Literally at first I was like, you know what? There's something in this toffee crisp. I might be due some compensation here. Yeah? I literally, I'm like, in my head, I was getting prepared for compensation. I was literally going to message the wife, be like, "Listen, man, I'm eating this toffee crisp and something hard's in there, and I pulled it out, and it's this little metal thing." And then I'm looking at it, and I'm like, "Wait a minute." And then I running my tongue along my teeth, and like over here at the bottom, man, I'm like, "Oh my god, there's a huge hole
No,
here."
no.
So literally, like the first thing I did, I got on the phone to the dentist, and she was like, "Sorry, but you're no longer registered here. You haven't seen us in like 7 years."
What?
Well, what am I meant to do now? Like, the tooth's come out. You're the last person I saw. You put in the bloody filling. Like, where do I go? And she was like, "Look, because of COVID, things have changed and da 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 da. But I'll put you in." And I was like, "Look, whatever it takes to get this problem sorted, because the last thing I need in life right now is a toothache. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's literally just fallen out. I'm ringing you now. Let's book me in. Like, let's get it sorted out." And so I've gone in, and he's like, "Right, so basically, I've got to pull it out."
yeah.
And he was like, "You can do a cap, you can do this, that, and the other. It costs like $1.50, $2,000." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not spending that much running right now." Um, and he was like, "Well, I
Pull the
mean,
bad boy.
yeah." He goes, "I'll pull that bad boy out. It costs you 65 quid on the NHS." So I was like, "Well, let's go for that option at the moment. What's your availability?" He goes, "I'm free for the next 20 minutes. Let's do it now." And like when someone's about to tell you off or you're nervous about something and you get like that twitch on your forehead and you like start
Yeah,
sweating.
yeah.
All of a sudden that come over me. I was like, not really prepared for this today. I'm not gonna lie. Like, a couple of things I need to do. I'm not really. Can we book in another session? And he was like, "Yeah, look, that's fine. I appreciate you're not really ready for it to be like you wasn't prepared for this. So I'm booked in like the second week of November to go and get that pulled out."
See, that's the
So
difference between me and you. I couldn't live with it, so I'd have to get it pulled out there and then.
yeah, but it's not hurting me, and I'm able to chew and eat on that side, so it's not
It's not hurting
really.
at all.
No. And even he was like, "I don't understand why this isn't hurting you. You should be in pain right now."
The worst thing is, we're going to discuss this now. And when you get up here and you wake up tomorrow morning, you're like, "Oh,
Mate,
my Let's touch some wood, you know what I mean? Let's touch some.
on my morning post on IG tomorrow, you'll be hearing someone stirring.
looking like a chipmunk because your face is swollen.
He goes, "Your face ain't swollen. Has it been swollen?" I was like, "Nah." He's like, "But you should be experiencing pain or some level of pain." "Nah, mate, not a thing." I literally,
Wow.
when the filling was in, it used to bother me more because it sat slightly high. So when I shut my like mouth, there was
Yeah, yeah,
pressure
yeah.
inside. But now that it's gone, nothing.
That's
Uh,
mad. Maybe you don't need it pulling then. Maybe it's just died on its own.
no, he was like, there's an infection on the side of it. So he's like, that's why there's no way that I can, save the tooth or do another
Yeah,
filling.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm only prolonging the inevitable. And 7 years ago, he said that at the time. He was like, at some point, you're going to need to have the like thing pulled out and root canal and X, Y, and Z. And I was just like, I've heard things about a root canal that I'm not very comfortable with. But no, man. So I'm in that same boat.
Yeah, I've had a root canal on this one up here. Tooth up here. Yeah, it's not
Painful.
comfortable. It's
Uh,
not the nicest thing. It's not the nicest thing. For me, going to the dentist, the injection is the worst thing.
yeah.
The numbing
I,
injection, I
I,
hate the needles.
I know what you mean. I'd rather take the needle though. I'd rather not feel it.
Once I've had the needle, I've fallen asleep. We're doing like I've had like loads of. I've had a few fillings down here, and I've had a root canal up here, and I've literally just closed my eyes and fallen asleep. I once woke up. I once woke up and shook the dentist because I was like laid back and I just like juddered. I swear to God, I juddered. Like like when you wake yourself up after you're like, why am I falling asleep? I
Yeah.
like juddered, and I was proper scared. The dentist, who was like just coming away from my mouth, so if there'd have been any like more drilling, I'd have probably gone through side of my cheek or something. But I proper like
Mm.
juddered, Walker. Yeah, I was like, yes. It was
Yeah.
mad. Honestly, I fell
I don't
asleep.
mind it. I don't mind it. I don't mind the drill or anything. Yeah. What I don't like is that picky thing that they put in your mouth to like count your teeth and that. That's the annoying thing.
Now the drill's worse. The drill is horrible.
I know what you mean because well, it's been some
It's
time
like,
since. Is it because of the water that
oh,
comes in your mouth as well?
it's horrible. The drill
Yeah.
is the worst. It is the worst. It goes through my bones. I will sit in that chair with goosebumps, like I'm watching a scary movie because it's horrible down your
Yeah.
spine.
Question to you guys in the audience: what is your pet peeve about the dentist? What is the worst experience you have? Clearly, Tom's just partially a root canal and falling asleep on the desk. But
Yeah, that is mine. Yeah, honestly, I swear, if it wasn't that bad, I'd honestly don't mind it. Give me an injection, I'll go sleep.
for me, the worst bit was like when we had braces and I had to go to the orthodontist because it was like, yes, I get a couple of hours out of school. It was like, no, I've got to go and see this douchebag.
He's got to tighten my jaw up a bit.
You know what I mean? And the thing is, like, they always used to tell me, like, oh, we need to take a tooth out. Like, you don't have the space in your mouth, and you've got braces on, but in the end, your teeth are eventually just gonna go back to how they were. And
Bombing, yeah.
here, there we go, bottom row, still crooked as ever. That's why when I smile, I'll try and just show the top deck rather than the bottom.
Yeah, I had it. Yeah, I used to like that. But dad smile like, oh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's better than the olden day smile, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Dad, I'm taking a picture.
Newspaper comes down.
Hey,
That's it. How's Jaden getting on with nurseries? As I say, we're not had that proper little sit down chat, but how's he getting on with nurseries? Is he enjoying it? Can you see the improvements?
always, man. Like, I'll tell you one thing. So recently, well, not even recently, but he's had a walker for a few months. Over the past few weeks, especially like since his first birthday, he's become so much more confident in the walker, which has meant that he's become more confident wanting to walk on his own. Obviously, he's got balance. He can't walk on his own at the moment, but literally, like whenever he's at home, all he wants to do is walk around the house. And it's really cute because if he's in our room or like my mum and dad's room, he'll like put himself in a position where, like if he's sitting in your lap and he'll like slide off, he'll try and do that everywhere to get onto the floor. Then when he gets to the floor, he knows that he's going to put his hands up and try and grab for someone's fingers. But he will literally walk around the whole top floor, all around the ground floor of the house, everywhere. And what's really cute is that whoever like hands he's holding, if he's upstairs, he'll run up to my office door, like literally this door here, and then kick it forward with his right foot to open the door, and then come in. And what he likes to do is, you know, the Logitech steering wheel that I bought a couple of
Yeah,
months
yeah,
ago.
yeah.
He likes to come and press buttons on that.
That's cool. But it's like that's just like even like the memory of him remembering that's where it is. I need to go see dad. It's dad's office. That's what I mean. There's the growth from him only being a year old is it's mad, isn't it? It's a
Mate,
proper eye opener.
Reshma picked him up the other day, and this was an afternoon that I was out filming. But I said to her, "What was the report from the nursery today?" She went, "Well, he's eaten well. He did really well. He's had a good day. They gave him a cinnamon swirl to try. He didn't like it, refused it, and threw it on the floor. But he was taking food out of other people's plates." No idea where you got it from. None whatsoever.
Yeah, okay, dad.
It's not me. I wouldn't take food out of anyone's plate. The only thing I can think is that he sees me and Reshma sharing food off a plate, and he's like, "Oh, I could do it."
You see, yeah, but then you see that it's you use it as a negative. Like they said, he's taking things out of people's plates. Well, as you guys are doing that, why can that not be used as sharing? Why has it got to be a negative thing? Do you know what I mean?
Sharing's different though. It's when you invite someone to share. It's called stealing when you take it from them.
Oh, okay. It's not yours, and I haven't offered you any. It's stealing.
It's kind of like the scenario where I open a can of Pepsi Max for myself, and my wife comes along and she's like, "I'll have a sip only."
Yeah, and finishes it.
Well, so she's got this thing at the moment, and yeah, I'm talking about my wife, where basically she won't open a full can, and she'll like, even if she wants a can for herself, she's like, "I just want a sip," and she'll have like 2-3 sips, and that's it. The can's there, so it's like, this is designated, it's yours, have it. So I don't get to finish full cans anymore, and I feel kind of deprived. But
maybe let her start the can instead.
No, she's even got something for that, because what we do is she'll come in the living room, or like, say for example, dinner time, she'll come in, she'll bring a can in, nice and cold one out of the fridge, and then there'll be a glass next to it, and then she'll wait for me to open the can and pour it into my glass, and then she'll nab the can. And I know what you're going to say, why don't you pour it all into the glass? But she'll bring a glass that is only big enough for half a can.
Oh.
In our house, we call them the glasses that you give to visitors and guests. You know, like
yeah.
Whereas back in the day, I'd be like, "Why have you given me a glass for a guest?"
Yeah. Now you know why.
Yeah,
now you know why.
What she's trying to do is make Pepsi Max last longer.
Yeah. If he opens a Pepsi and he's got this glass, and I go upstairs, I come back down, I've got enough time to steal the can. Tactics, I like it.
Honestly. But no, I don't even know where we're going with that. That was just on a side tangent. But
why not? It doesn't have to be all prim and proper.
Yeah, so let's pick up a conversation that we started prior to starting the broadcast, and it's something that I think the audience can help us out with. Like, as we get older, we all suffer back problems, and obviously, I'm at the stage where all he wants to do is walk, and it's a big strain on your back, because obviously you're now bent over, arched over, with your arms down, just trying to support him. And he's going left, right, forward, backwards, doesn't matter. So obviously that's had an impact on my back. The second impact on my back is change of computer chair. Reshma was given a lovely computer chair with a mesh back and like very supportive raised armrests that can turn in all directions. And basically they gave it to her on maternity leave, and last week they asked for it back. It went back, and the chair I'm now sitting on is my old chair. I bought it roughly for about £100 off Amazon. And at the time I was like, great, new chair, happy days. But I bought it at the start of the pandemic, and it's in its box for about 3 months before I built it up. Long story short, this chair is rubbish. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. um, the base of the chair even sits on what we'll call the piss. So I'm actually sitting slanted like this, that way. And so last week when I
What?
started
So you've
using,
got to keep your feet on the floor. So it's like is it like that?
no, I'm actually sitting with one leg crossed under the other just to elevate my arse cheek.
Ah.
But the things we'll do as Indians just to get through a day, right? Um, and yes, so there's the cheap part of me that's been here this week trying to fix it or trying to solutionize to stop this backache. But essentially, I sat on it last Thursday morning, and the old chair went at like 9:30. By 1 o'clock in the afternoon, my back had locked up so badly that I couldn't turn my neck further than this. I couldn't lift up or down. And then I thought, right, I'm going to go and lay down for a bit, and hopefully it will just ease itself a little, put some like balm on it and so forth. I use a really good CBD balm. If anyone would like to know some information on it, just hit us up in the DMs. And I must say that using CBD balm for me has been fantastic over the use of a normal ibuprofen gel or something like that. The healing benefits are actually quite superior, and I can't say it legally, but you can't make legal, like, you can't associate CBD to giving you any benefits health wise legally, but I can
Yeah.
share my experience. And the reason why I say that is because I am involved and own a company that produces a CBD product. Anyway, so long story short, I couldn't lift my head up. I couldn't get out of bed without the aid of my wife. Like, I couldn't turn over, roll over. I couldn't even lift my head and turn it on the pillow. Yeah. And this is within a couple of hours. So this chair has been the real bugbear of my life for the last week. And this is where I need you guys' help from the audience. I've been looking for an office chair. I've had many recommendations. I've kind of ended up at two end spots. One is Herman Miller. And I don't know if you know about Herman Miller, Tom, but
No.
they are very well renowned for producing some of the most ergonomic chairs around, with a mesh back and a mesh seat. And the difference with like a normal cushion seat and a mesh seat is a mesh seat will conform to your body style position seating, whereas your padded chair will just conform to the shape of your ass. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone's got their one chair that they've sat in for the last 4 years downstairs in front of the TV that's got their arse cheek imprinted in it. That's generally what happens with the standard office chair, right?
Yeah.
But essentially that won't happen with a Herman Miller chair because it's mesh bottom, mesh back. And so it's very rigid. It's going to always conform to the best suitable position for your body. This being said, they're priced at over £1,000. So that immediately pushes it out of the majority of people's budgets, unless you're someone that's willing to spend that amount of money on that one chair.
Yes.
I've been thinking about this a lot. We spend like, and I use the car as an example in our discussion about this. We spend so much money on our car, the aesthetic, to get what we want, comfortability, ease of drive, whatever it is. We've all got preferences that we want to check off in a tick box. And we'll go and spend like 15, 16K, 20K. We'll lease a car that's brand new, whatever, right? But when it comes to a point, the majority of us will think, okay, I've kind of settled. I know this is what I want. I'm just going to write it off and go and make the purchase. Do you know what I mean? You've done it recently, Tom. You bought a new car recently, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
So through that whole buying process, you kind of looked at the things you definitely wanted to have. You narrowed it down. You found something that fits and suits that criteria. You push the button.
Yeah.
With our backs, we're all quite cheap. Like, everyone's like, what's the best ergonomic, cheapest chair I can find? And then you forget about the ergonomic bit, and then you look at the cheaper bit and what suits the budget that you've got freely available to you. And over the last few years, most people have bought chairs like that with the available funding that they have. Now, with companies like Klarna, um, uh, basically these companies that will,
Shop does it as well, yeah.
yeah, but essentially you're buying things on a monthly basis with 0% interest, as so long as you pay it off within the time that you've been allowed. Now all of a sudden, that £400 chair that you couldn't afford in one shot, which you could probably afford 150 a month for, is within your grasp. And so I started looking around and thinking, okay, I'll use this to my advantage. And then I thought, I'm not going to spend over £1,000 on a Herman Miller chair. Like, as much as I'd love to be in that position, and there's friends of mine who have spoken to me highly about them, I just couldn't. Like, Jaden's nursery fees cost me like £1,200, £1,300 a month. Do you know what I mean? On like the months with more days. So I can't justify spending over £1,000, but what I can justify is 70 quid a month. And you're going to ask me, how did I go from £1,000 a month to £70 a month? Or £1,000 for a chair to £70 a month? So Secret Labs, I've been looking at Secret Labs chairs. I've looked at some of like the other comparisons that are like Secret Labs copies. And I haven't, as much as I'm like, all right, I could save myself £100 or £200 if I go for this copy. Looking through the reviews, everyone's like, it's a great chair, like but it's not Secret Labs. And then you go on Secret Labs website and everyone's like, oh, this is great. Like it's expensive, but I couldn't go back to another chair.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like no one's really complaining about the build quality, the usability, the comfortability. Like everyone's giving it great reviews, and yet their only bugbear is the price. Yet they've pretty much all said I'd willingly spend it again. And so I've kind of got to the point where I'm like itching to push the button on this,
which you should do.
£530 chair, which at the minute for the next 24 hours or so, I'm told, has £100 off. So it's actually £430. It's £399 if you go for like the basic one. But I was like, you know what? They've got a Batman edition, which is this year's model variant of the chair as well. The Titan 2022 Titan Evo, whichever it was. But essentially, with a company called Split It, you can split the payment down over 6 months. It costs you £70 a month. So I'm sitting here itching, and I'm like, I just want somebody to tell me, am I going to make the right decision here? Have any of you guys in the audience that are watching here bought a chair recently which you could recommend, or do any of you use a Secret Labs chair, and can you just tell me that I'm making the right decision?
I think it's the right decision, and my reasoning is different to why anybody else would think it's different. And my reason is because I suffer with fibromyalgia. I'm not sure I've spoke to you before about it, but so I suffer a lot with it. So I take a lot of medication, painkillers, to make sure I can get up in the morning and make sure I'm doing things. For me personally, if I don't take my medication, I can't get out of bed. I can't do something for my child. So I can't go out for a walk with my child. If I have back pains or anything like that, or I have knee pains and stuff, it's struggle for me to walk, struggle for me to do things. As young parents as we are, if anything is going to benefit your health, so you can stay around longer, not even stay around, just to be active with your child, have that experience. For me, it's a no-brainer. 100% a no-brainer. You have to do it if you know that chair is going to benefit you, because then you can go out into the park with Jaden, you can go out and do this, you can go and walk his buggy, whatever you need to do. 100% buy the chair, man.
And this is it. Like I say, this week where he's been wanting to walk around and that, I don't have the flexibility and the ability with my back the way it is to keep doing him as much as I want it. Do you know what I mean?
And that's heartbreaking as a father. 100% heartbreaking as a father, because we're the ones that's meant to kick the balls with the babies. We're meant to be a bit more active, a bit more playful. Do you know what I mean? No, this is no disrespect to mums, but dads. Do you know what I mean? It's meant to be us. That's we're the ones that like to play fight. We like to go out and play ball with our kids. We like to get out and stuff and whatnot. And if it's stopping you doing it, then it is honestly a no-brainer. And I think a lot of people would agree with me on that one. Yes, it is expensive, but the cost over not being able to do certain things is far greater than not being able to do them.
Yep.
So get
No,
it bought
100%.
and
And I
show that
mean,
chair off.
I've been I've been sitting here like, we're kind of, I'm not trying to put it on a downer. This is like, it's a conversation to say that we should justify to ourselves that we are equally as important, and as is our health and our bodies. And so without taking the proper steps and precautionary measures to keep ourselves in a fit and active like mode or position, we're not helping anyone, least of all ourselves. And obviously with my job, we've got a hell of a lot of equipment that we carry. It's very heavy, and there's all that side to it as well.
I
And
think
I
when you
think,
get to a point as well, when you get to a point where you're sort of like, this is going to be beneficial to me, it's not just a luxury purchase. It's something that's not going to last you a month, 2 months. It's going to last you a few years, if not
yeah,
longer. Well,
no, well,
the investment
most
needs
people
to
that
be
have bought
done.
the chair have said that it's lasted me at least 4 or 5 years, or like some of the
Mm.
early like, adopters of that chair have said it's still in great condition, it's lasted. They'll hold their value. But the fact is, I think we've just got to accept and come to a point where I don't go to the gym. I probably should. Um, there's probably a lot of exercise that I'm missing out on that I don't do, which I
We're
should.
old. We're getting older. We're
Bro,
getting older.
honestly, I feel old. I do feel old. Like, it's a different tangent. Let's hold that one there, because you mentioned something a second ago that I do want to touch on, and I think it's probably a good idea to get to that next. But in
Cool.
conclusion, to wrap this little part of the conversation up, let us know in the comment section if you've anything that you can add to this part of the topic for chairs, office chairs, ergonomics, what your experience has been, what you found works for you, what you find didn't work for you, if there's any recommendations that you have. And if you own a Secret Labs product or chair, let us know. Let us know what you thought about it and your feedback. A minute ago, you mentioned luxury purchases.
Yep.
What's a luxury purchase to you?
A luxury purchase is anything that's not a need, it's a want.
What would you define your mobile phone as?
A lifeline?
When it comes to upgrade, would you define it as a luxury purchase or something you need?
Yes. Yes. Luxury purchase. Because I can use the same phone I've got in my hand.
Right.
I want to treat myself. It's luxury.
Yeah. So obviously these days, as kids grow, and like I got my first phone when I was like 16, turning 17. I don't know about you. Like my sister got her first phone when she was like 12. Do
I think.
you know what I mean?
I think.
And those were
Yeah,
back in
probably
the
about
day.
the same age.
And we're talking like, this, I'm 36 now. So this is 20 years ago. Yeah. God, I feel old saying that. You say it yourself, man. It's actually like you feel that twitch that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So nowadays, kids are getting phones from much younger, or they're toying with iPads, they're toying with some sort of device at a younger age.
Yes.
Most of the time now, and going back to the same theory, most parents or some parents are in positions where they can't afford to buy the product straight out, and they don't have anyone that's going to gift their child an iPad.
Yes.
So what they do is they go on to a contract provided by a phone network, and they get an agreement for whatever it is for 2 years, 3 years. They get the device, they pay a monthly fee. And yes, it costs more than buying the device on its own, but with the
Yes.
parents being able to afford a £25 a month as opposed to a £400 purchase, it's the way that they have to do it to be able to give the kid what the kid is asking for and wants, and to be fashionable, but B, to keep them working on the current trends or whatever it is they want to do.
Yep.
Long story short, the cost of these things has gone up, and the way in which mobile phone companies are operating is completely changing at the moment. And I'm not sure whether a lot of people realize it, but within the past year, like, I come from a mobile industry background, so I try and keep an eye on it. I've come to the point where my phone contract is now out of contract. It's probably the first time in about 10 plus years where I've waited till the end of my contract and it's fully completed. But looking around now, I was like, I've been an Android user. I've got a Galaxy Note. I've been on the last, like my past 3 upgrades have been Galaxy Notes. Love the platform, love the experience. And to be honest, apart from the fact that my battery I'm charging 3 times a day, I'm completely happy with my phone.
Mhm.
And so that's why I say this is a luxury item topic. Now, I thought to myself, there's a new iPhone 13 out. I've been off Apple for a few months, like a considerable amount of time. I think my last iPhone was the iPhone 6S. Put it into context. Dog.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been a long time since I've been an Apple, like an iPhone user.
Yeah.
And I thought, all right, I fancy a change. Let's go for that. And then I started looking into how much it's going to cost me a month. And my phone to me is a luxury purchase. And the reason why I call it a luxury purchase, in fact, I don't even know if I define it as a luxury purchase for me. I define it as a work tool and something that I need to operate my day to day. And so my belief is we pay for many things in life. Your phone is the one thing that you couldn't live without, and what we as people in a generation have come entirely dependent on to function in day-to-day life.
Yep.
And so, like, even when Reshma's phone contract came up for a year last year, I was like, look, whatever it costs, it costs. Whatever phone you want, get the phone you want. Because this is the one thing that you spend your life glued to, you can't live without, and it's the one thing in life that, you know, you depend on, right? I'd rather leave my wallet at home than walk out without my phone. Do you know what I mean? And I'm pretty
Yeah.
confident the majority of people watching this show will agree.
Yeah, because you got your wallet in your phone, that's why.
Right. So what they've done now, getting back to the story at hand, the phone networks before used to pay a subsidy towards the phone, and then they'd give you your airtime, and your cost would depend on what the airtime was. And so the last contract that I did, I was like, I want unlimited everything, the fastest speed on 5G, Vodafone. I want Spotify inclusive, and I want to be able to use roaming for inclusive in my package when I go abroad. So they put me on like a £90 a month contract with a £15 bill credit. So it used to come out like 75 quid a month. I was like, it's like before I'd be like £40, £45. When it got to that stage, and this was the stage I was working in the industry, I was like, Jesus, this is expensive. And then we went, last time I upgraded 2 years ago, and I'm spending like, in effect, £90, but £75. And at that point, I was like, Jesus, this is expensive. Like, this is only going higher and higher. Where are they going to draw the line? So now I'm looking at it this time around, and I've built my package up. And obviously, I work in a data consumption field where utilizing data both for internet access and the amount of data available in memory on my phone is important to me. So iPhones don't have expandable memory. So I need to go for something that I've got now, at least as its equivalent, which is 256 gigabyte internal. So to buy that iPhone 13, it costs £1,150 if I was to buy it on its own. It works out to something like £55 a month if you buy it with Apple Care. And you pay it off on a 2-year interest-free with Apple. So I kind of got my head around that. And then basically Vodafone were like, you can either buy it on a plan with the same plan that you've got, and it's going to cost you £105 a month fully insured. Or £105 a month, Tom, fully insured. Forget the insurance. So even without the insurance, £95 a month, yeah? £95 a month. This is more like, this is over double what I was spending 4 years ago. Yeah. So now I'm doing my best to try and find a way that I can keep to around the price point that I'm currently paying, but still get all the things that I want. Couldn't find it. Then on Monday, when I was filming, I saw this guy and he had the Samsung Fold phone.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, and they've just released a new variant, the Fold 3. So it's 3
Is that the one that folds up front?
No, it folds out.
Like does it?
Yeah. And I remember seeing it about a year ago, or when it first launched, and I was like, you know what, this is a great concept, but the screen's too small right now. Last year they released it, didn't have an upgrade, wasn't interested. But when I started looking at it on Tuesday after seeing Matey Boy's phone, I found the Z2, the Fold 2. And I was like, this concept's fantastic. And they've made the front a lot more usable. Like it's not a half size screen, it's a full size screen. And then what I didn't realize is that they just released the Z Fold 3. And so I started doing more research into it. And they've made the front screen to the usability that I wanted, because when I saw the previous, like the first iteration, I was like, this concept's great. It gives you a phablet in a phone. But as I said, I wanted something that gave me usability on the front screen without having to open the inside, but to the level that I can use my current phone. Now they're there, bro. Now they are there. And I was like, started looking into reviews, and mostly people are like, for me, the fact is the Note 10 was a great phone, but it was impractical to hold it in one hand. And I'm looking, here we go. So like holding it like this is fine. But the second that you try and reach this side of the keyboard, you're lumbered.
Yeah.
And basically what I thought to myself is, if they do the Z Fold with a full front screen, which is usable, it gives you one-handed orientation.
Yes.
You've always got the ability to use one hand to use the whole phone. Wash.
So you can have your kid in one hand, bottle in the other hand, your phone in this hand, and a cig in your mouth.
and still text.
Yeah.
But basically what they've done is they brought to market a product that I was interested on that first iteration. And I thought to myself, let me have a look at how much it is. Had a look at how much it is. You're sitting down, yeah? 1,600 quid, bro.
To buy it out?
To buy it outright, 1,600 quid direct from Samsung.
Wow.
There's 400 quid more expensive, 450 quid or something in that area, more expensive than the iPhone I was prepared to buy.
That's mad.
Check this out. I got to a point where I convinced myself that if I just get a SIM only from Vodafone, instead of charging me the £34, I've been a long time customer, they'll give me that roughly 20 quid a month, 24 quid a month. As long as it's less than 30, you couldn't really care. So then if I can buy this one, this says it's going to cost me like $58.50 a month on like 24 months direct from Samsung. And then I add that, and then I'm roughly looking at the £90 mark. I was literally about to push the button, literally. And I thought, just before I did it, I went, do you know what? I should check Vodafone's website and see what they're offering. Built the package up. You won't believe me, bruv. It came up to £90.
No way.
15 quid cheaper than the iPhone.
No way.
And on top of that, if you trade a Note 10 in right now, they'll give you a bill credit of £21 a month.
Nice.
Which brought it down, which means the actual line rental was 13 quid a month.
Nice.
So I'm still spending $58.50 on the phone, and I'm only spending 13 quid a month for the SIM.
That's good. That's really good.
And then because Samsung have got the launch promo on at the moment, once I get the phone, I can register on their website and they'll send me the free fold pen case and the actual block charger, which they don't supply in the box anymore.
Yeah, that's the worst thing ever, is they don't supply in that. That is the worst thing. Do you still class it as a luxury item, even though you've got the best deal you can?
Absolutely.
You have to, don't you?
You have to. It literally, even the guy on the phone was like, this is the most expensive phone that we offer at Vodafone. And you've got it for almost 40% off the price of the iPhone that you wanted.
That's madness.
Like, honestly, £71 a month. And what they've done now is they've removed the international roaming, and you have to buy it as a £2 add-on to get like rent free in like 80 plus destinations. And I was like, if I go abroad and it's going to cost me X, Y, and Z, he was like, it's going to cost you da 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 da. So I was like, you know what, for £2, bang it on, and then at least I'm covered. It's not going to cost me £6 or whatever, like when I go away, yeah. And I've got an all-inclusive cost. But mate, £105 to £71 a month.
That's good.
Would you not have
And
done
cheaper
it?
than your actual, cheaper than your contract that you're doing now as well. You know, as well. It's a no-brainer. You're getting a better phone and you're spending less money.
Yep.
It's still a luxury item, but
yeah, and
yeah.
But if I didn't trade this in, then it would have cost me £90 a month.
Works out better though. At the end of the day, so that's going to pay off. Anyway, it's your phone. You do what you want with it, and then
to trade this in, you're getting £230 at the moment. So if you add that £21 a month at 2 years, it's like £504.
Yeah, it's no brainer.
Yeah, man,
no brainer.
And
you have to, and that's the thing with this that sort of stuff though. Yes, it is the luxury item, and yes, it's something that we don't need. We could have a burner phone or whatever, but you've also saved the burner phone. You can all have a burner phone. Now watch too much police camera action is what I watch. That's what I watch. Police interceptors. Yeah, if you can save money, to me that's perfect, because once again, getting older and the stuff we have to do as dads, you know, if we got to have that little bit of extra cash, then so be it.
Mate, I was going to go down to a SIM only, but obviously this battery issue that I have is just a problem. And when I say it's a problem, yeah, nobody knows about this, and she's going to find out later that I've said it right now. But so yesterday I went to get pizza, and they screwed up the order at pizza at Domino's, and I was sitting in there for half an hour. But when I left the house and made the order, my phone was on 5%. So obviously within 2 minutes of getting there, my phone went dead, right? And literally no charger on me and whatever. So I've been at Domino's now waiting for like 40 minutes it took me to get this pizza and get back home. And then when I get home, Mrs. opens the door and she's crying. I'm like, what's going on with you? What's wrong? She went, your phone was off. You've been gone for 40 minutes somewhere that's a minute and a half down the road. I thought something had happened to you.
Isn't that crazy how accessible? But you do become very accessible, don't you? Like, I don't know. Me and you are basically the same age. You're 2 years older than me. That's it. But I remember as a kid knocking on someone's door. Is so-and-so coming out to play? You know, walking around the streets in your area to try find the kids that you knew were playing out. Now kids are sat there messaging, going, let's meet here at this time, let's meet there at that time. Listen, if I said to you on Friday after school, I'll meet you in town at 1 o'clock on Saturday, you'd be there at 1 o'clock on Saturday. There would be no text message. There'd be no phone call. We'd literally be there at 1 o'clock and we're like, yeah, that's how it used to work.
Mate, different world we live in. But the thing is, obviously I chuckled to myself, but I was like, did you not think that my phone could have gone dead? I've been out since 5 this morning.
It's like, it is mad.
As much as I laugh it off, yeah, the fact is that's how dependent we've become on these things that we wouldn't like. She didn't think that my battery could have died. She was like, yeah, but you always have some charge on your phone. I was like, yeah, but I'm not always going to be in a position where I can do that.
Yeah, but it's because everybody is so accessible. A message on Facebook, a text message, a WhatsApp. You know what I mean? The telephone call. Everybody is so you just used to being able to just go, I can speak to that person. There's no sort of working around it. You know, going out to the phone box or going to the landline and stuff like that. Going to ring off the landline. People don't have landlines anymore because they have mobile phones.
That's it.
Don't need a landline. The only reason you need a landline is for internet.
That's it. I'll tell you one thing, though. It was the most boring 40 minutes of my life. I'll tell you, the crew in that shop yesterday, I'll tell you, honestly, man, I swear. I don't know who hired them, but Jesus, someone needs a speaking to.
Yeah, don't let them know which they are, because next time you go, they'll be spitting in your food. So don't name and shame them. Do
Well, I'll
not
tell
be
you one
naming
thing
and
for
shaming.
free. I'm going back to Pizza Hut. Mate, I tell you, it took me like 20 minutes to decide whether I was even going to push the button with Domino's yesterday. Yeah. Because, and parents will be able to relate to this. I don't know in your area if they offer it, but Pizza Hut in our area, they do like a medium pizza for £5 of like their favorites menu. So
Mm.
normally I'll spend 15 quid and I'll get a medium pizza for Resh, a medium pizza for me, and we'll get a portion of garlic bread or something. To get exactly the same yesterday at Domino's, I spent £23.50 or something.
I'd rather have an ham sandwich if I'm honest.
And then I got dicked about for so long as well. Do you know what I mean? So
Was it cold when you got home as well?
no, because I had them remake the first pizza and garlic bread.
Because it was going to be cold when you got home.
Yeah, I was like, Buv, I've been sitting in here for 15 minutes after you told me to arrive to come and collect it. Fair enough, you misplaced my pizza and you're remaking it, but do you really expect me to accept the other ones after having waited there for like half an hour by that time? He was like, it'll still be warm. I was like, mate, it's not the experience that I want my wife and kid to have, though, is it?
Exactly. It comes a different mindset when you think it like that, don't you? It
Either
comes a
way,
different
like,
mindset.
if I'm going to be sitting in there half an hour and that pizza was on the shelf when I walked in, who wants cold pizza like that?
Nah, no, but then you don't want to be giving over your hard-earned cash for that.
Exactly.
I
I've
think
already bloody
when
paid.
you get when you get older, it's like, yeah, you know what I mean. I'm getting my value worth for money
Do you know
now.
what?
Yeah,
When I got back in, like what they'd done is they'd remade the garlic bread fresh, and Reshma was like, I think they've just reheated the pizza.
no way.
I was so livid, yeah. I was like, I'm going back. I'm going back right now. And she was like, no, it's been so long. I'm really hungry. Can we just eat? Like, I was
Yeah,
honestly, I was livid. Like, I'm in half a mind to go up to Domino's and literally go and give them a piece of my mind, like when they open.
just go take pizza back if you've not been it. Just say, can I have half my money back? Because I didn't eat that because you rewarmed it. I had to wait here
No,
40 minutes.
maybe we should just tag Domino's in this podcast and hopefully someone from head office might get in touch. If you work at Domino's head office, give me a shout. I've got something to talk to you about. First of all, it's the offers. Secondly, it's the quality of service.
Sort your life out.
Isn't it? No wonder Pizza Hut's the most family friendly restaurant in the world.
Telling you.
Yeah, mate.
Jeez.
Wait, this hour's gone quick.
And it.
It has. Do you know, honestly, I was literally just thinking we could just carry on here and sit and chat. Apart from the fact that in the next hour I'm due to be somewhere.
And you live in a place where it takes you an hour to get to that place as well.
Yeah. No, so basically I've got to go and collect Kev and I've got to be with Kev within an hour and a half. So I've got to have me lunch. I've got to go and, shave, shower and get ready, pack the car, get all the kit together, get this posted and ready to go up and live. So as much as I want to sit here and chat for the rest of the afternoon and not do anything that I'm responsible for, I've got to call it, mate.
Yeah, no stress, bro. I appreciate it. Just to let you know, just to show you this face.
Oh,
Go on in a minute.
I thought we were going to be showing the gap then.
Come on, show your teeth.
Where's your tooth gone?
That way.
Ooh.
And it's this one that's probably on right next to it.
Is it?
That's ready to come out, that one.
You'll be able to fit a straw through there soon.
And just to let everybody know, she hasn't been kissing boys because Daddy doesn't allow that.
Oh, mate. Well, on that note, what I'm going to do is say thank you all for watching. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe because we don't know and you don't know who's going to find our content and conversations humorous, informative, or a lifeline just to get away from the family for an hour. But thanks again to Tom for taking the time out today. Again, this was a pre-recorded show. That's why there is a light background in Tom's window. We thank you all for watching, and hopefully we can get back to being live show broadcast again very soon. On that note, Tom, have a wonderful day.
You too, brother.
Everyone watching, have a wonderful evening, and we will see you all soon.
Good evening.
Good night.